Hello everybody, welcome back. To those of you who are returning, thank you so much for coming back, hanging out with me today. For those of you who are new, hi, my name is JoJo and this channel focuses on my family's journey to financial freedom. If that's something you're interested in watching, then please come along with us on this crazy ride. So what we're going to be doing today is the forecast for paycheck number 2 for the month of January. I cannot believe we are already here. January is a longer month, though. It is a magic month for us. So this is paycheck 2 of 3. We normally get paid every other week. If you are new here, I'm married. We have 3 kids. My husband and I both work. We get paid every other week, and we are paycheck by paycheck zero-based budgeters. We are currently on a financial freedom journey of paying off debt. We use our cash flow. We use a velocity banking strategy. So some kind of unconventional financial methods. And we just wrapped up the end of the year. We started our debt-free journey in February of 2020 with $102,000, a little over $102,000 of debt. We are now down to $48,800 and something dollars. Let me see. $48,883.67. So we are more than halfway there, y'all. I'm so excited. And I am going to be doing my quarterly debt and net worth assessment video tomorrow if you want to see our progress in the last 3 months and then how that reflects in our net worth. But today's video, we're going to be forecasting for paycheck number 2. But yeah, I got my coffee, I got my new planner I'm working through, my new pouch for all of my pens, and my cute little succulent that makes me happy. So I'm going to take a sip of coffee and we're going to hop right to it. Okay, let's get in here. I'm going to first pull out some pens. So I am going to be using the color blue for this budget, and then I also need my highlighter. And this pouch I got for Christmas. If you guys like the look of it, I will leave it linked below. It's from Amazon. And I think that's everything that I will need. It's just my blue highlighter and my blue pen. And I do like to coordinate my budgets with my my highlight with my pen. It just makes it a little more fun. Okay, I'm going to move these guys just a little out of the way. And we're going to turn to my monthly view. So I have these little tabs. They used to have like the 3-hole punch. I was in a different small, just 3-ring binder before and had these guys in there, but I just cut off the edge and then punched them with my arc hole punch, and they just snap in great. So it divides my month, my weekly check-in, my transaction logs, my sinking funds, and then I also have my velocity banking one too. So I was really happy I was able to salvage these guys. But under my monthly view, I have my bills card that I use, and it's just on an index card, you guys. I try to repurpose as many things in my house as possible because we are on a debt-free journey, so I'm trying to not spend a lot of money to do a budget, you know? But this has been pared down quite a bit, just with cleaning up our fixed expenses, unnecessary subscriptions. We changed around our security system. We've paid off a few debts. So this has been shrinking, which is awesome. But over here is where I start with my calendar view. And this calendar, this was in the early stages. I was trying to figure out how to put a calendar into a planner system where it kind of opens like a book. So figuring out the margins, how I wanted. I didn't have the days of the week on there, so my daughter had fun putting some stickers on here. And then I have this little notes section. I do still have that, but it's been cleaned up a bit as I've been learning, but it's functional, and that's my primary concern. So as you can see here, I lay out our paychecks, and then I also lay out our fixed expenses. And this was from paycheck number 1. which there have been a few bills that have cleared. So I can go ahead and check this off. Okay. But what we're going to be doing today is paycheck number 2. And this sort of method comes from the Budget Mom, I think highlighting, laying it out on a calendar and highlighting what paycheck is going to cover what. And this has been so helpful for us because I was just overwhelmed before when we first started budgeting last year. I didn't know what money was coming in, what was going out, when bills were due, yada, yada, yada. So I just brain dumped on a calendar like this. And as I was being consistent with coming back to my budget, I was able to figure out better and build this index card too to help me with the dates that things are going to come out, to plug it in so it was more accurate on this calendar. So just some things over here. I had kind of crunched some numbers to see what paychecks needed to cover what, and I saw when I laid out our fixed expenses on this calendar that paycheck number 3 was going to end up covering our mortgage and my sinking funds. Those are 2 of my biggest bills, and they can't really be covered by just one paycheck. So what I had noted, it's probably kind of hard to see over here with the ink color, but I just said that paycheck number 2 is going to cover sinking funds, because normally the paychecks will cover the Friday that they're deposited until the Thursday before the next paycheck is expected to be deposited. And you can see sinking funds, we're not planning on contributing money to them until the 29th, which is when paycheck 3 will be deposited. But because of that situation of how the money was coming in and going out, paycheck 2 is going to cover sinking funds. So when I come in with my highlighting, I draw my cloud around our income, and I'm going to highlight all of the fixed expenses in blue that paycheck 2 is covering. Okay, so and then just some other notes. We're potentially getting a stimulus check. I haven't seen it come in yet. Not really sure the situation on that. I'm not counting on it. If we get it, that's great. If not, our family, we were able to still maintain our jobs, thankfully. So it would just be extra money for us. It would be nice, but we don't need it as much as other families would. And then my mom has a birthday this month, so I'm just saying sinking funds. We have a gifts and holiday sinking fund to make sure that I know that that's coming out. Okay, that takes care of the highlighting of the bills that this paycheck is covering. Now we'll move over to my paycheck budget sheet and start plugging in some numbers. Right, here we are at my paycheck budget sheet, and all of these sheets that you guys see me use, they are available on my Etsy shop. It's linked in the description box below if you want to go check out what's available, if you feel like this system would be helpful for you. So since we are paycheck by paycheck budgeters, I designate that this is for paycheck 2, and then the dates that it is covering will be from January 15th until the 28th. And then we're going to write down our income. We expect income 1 to be direct deposited on the 14th. And I underestimate it at $2,870. Income 2, the 15th, and I underestimate that at $1,000. Income 3 on the 20th. And that's $915. That's consistent there. We are expecting a little bit of rollover from paycheck number 1. And I had rolled over. It was going to be pretty tight. This is my paycheck number 1 budget. It was going to be really tight with only $20. And there was holidays around, so I had ended up rolling over some money from paycheck 2 from the month of December for this paycheck. But honestly, this $500, I'm just going to plan on rolling over this $22.06 because I will have other plans for this $500 if I don't end up using it for this paycheck, if that makes sense. So all I'm going to write is the $22.06. And we'll say that'll be on the 14th when we close out that paycheck. It was $22.06. Now what we'll do is add these together. Okay, so we have $38.70 plus $9.15 plus $22.06. Okay, and that totals $4,807.06. Then over here is my fixed expenses. Those are all of the bills we highlighted on that sheet. When you add all these together, that totals $2,715.55. Then moving over here to variable expenses, we are a family of 5, we own a home, and we have pets, so that's kind of what makes up our variable expenses. For groceries, to last us 2 weeks, we budget $400. Eating out entertainment gets $100. Oops. Household and pets, $125. Gas, $150. My husband and I each get $80 of spending money, and whatever we don't spend from this gets rolled over into a sinking fund to build up for any more expensive purchases. Our kids, we allocate $20, and then I always have this unbudgeted, but it gets $0. All of these together totals $995. Then down here is my sinking funds table, and I just did a weekly check-in yesterday, but I use this table to track my expenses or any transactions, whether it's a deposit or an expense that comes from my different sinking fund categories. I'll also link my sinking fund closeout video for December in an information card if you guys want to check that out to see more about how I use these sheets and what all of my different categories are. I did just revamp my sinking funds from what I had learned about our budget during 2020. But sinking funds are awesome, you guys. They are a great way to be intentional with your savings. But I just marked this as week 3 and week 4 for my weekly check-ins. Down here is my debt table. There's not really much to see here because of it gets updated as bills are paid. But I'll pull in my Paycheck 1 budget sheet so you guys can see more about our numbers. But currently what we're looking at is about $48,883.67. A little less than that because of this did have a payment that came out, my student loan, which is our debt focus. And we are using Velocity Banking to pay off this student loan. It's not a federal loan, it's a refinance, so it's through a private lender now. I refinanced it 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and it was $68,000 when I'd refinanced it. But it has an amortization schedule, and loans that are one way with amortization schedules, your interest, you pay a lot of interest early in those loans. So that's why we're using this Velocity Banking strategy to save money on interest. But when you see the balance of our HELOC plus the balance of the student loan, really these two are tied together. They're the total balance of that student loan. I hope that makes sense. I have an entire series if you guys want to see more about that. I do monthly check-ins on this strategy as well to kind of track that interest savings. But once we're done with our HELOC or with the student loan, we're next going to use this to pay down our mortgage faster. But that is the debt table. I just like having everything housed in one central location. But now what we're going to do is figure out our cash flow, which this paycheck will be zeroed out, and this cash flow is going to be thrown at our debt because that is the current journey we are on with our financial freedom journey. So our income of $48,0706 minus $27,1555 minus $995. Okay, and that totals what we are planning to throw at debt is $1,096.51. which is great. All right, you guys, that is what the forecast for Paycheck 2 looks like for the month of January. That is going to wrap up this video for today. I hope you all are having a lovely day. And again, thank you for coming by and hanging out with me today. I'm going to be posting my video tomorrow where I do my quarterly debt and net worth assessment. We started that journey, I told you, our debt-free journey, February of last year, just kind of to track our progress, how our investments have grown, how our debt has come down, and what those two variables together to equal our net worth is looking like. But I will see you guys tomorrow.